Hello, and welcome to the 2-Bit Game Club. I'm your host, Liam Gallagher. This episode 23A, is introducing Donkey Kong Country. So, the game for March 2018 is Donkey Kong Country from 1994 for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. This is the timeless tale of a great ape and his chimpanzee buddy's quest for redemption. Having been the victim of Grand Theft Banana by the vile hand of King K. Rool, Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong must venture across an island shaped like Donkey Kong's head to recover their lost hoard. So grab a copy of the game and play along with the club this March. More details on where to get your copy are at the end of this episode. Make sure you send all your thoughts and questions about the game to patreon.com/2bitgameclub. Those thoughts could be included at the end of the month in our club meeting episode. So Donkey Kong Country is a classic as far as platformers go. Its gameplay is as smooth as it is satisfying, and the game looks great with its vibrant and lush environments, while its characters are very memorable. Who doesn't love Donkey Kong? The game's soundtrack is also a high point in the game's music of the era. Developed by Rare shortly after its founding by the brothers Stampers, the game begins its life as a series of tests on the Silicone Graphics Workstation, the CGI Challenge, the rendering style of which would have a huge impact on the look of the Donkey Kong Country franchise. The development team was stocked with fresh faces that would go on to be some of the biggest names in games, folks including the composers David Wise and Eveline Fischer, and producers Gregg Mayles and artist Steve Mayles. Visually, the game is quite distinct. The CGI graphics have their own quality, which is recognizable even to folks like myself who don't know that much about graphics. You can see it in display on some of Rare's other games, like the Killer Instinct series. Mechanically, the game is quite true to the genre. It's a platformer through and through, which means you'll be running and jumping for the majority of your time on Kong Island. Though the platformer itself is smooth and enjoyable, the game is dressed up with a number of fun takes on the genre, including moving platforms, animal buddies to ride, tricks with lighting and visibility, and of course, minecart rides. When combined with the aesthetic beauty of the game, the whole experience is quite a joy to behold. There's nothing quite like a chimp on a rhino jumping out of the jungle canopy into a barrel filled with explosives. Donkey Kong Country has a permanent place in my heart, as it's the game that introduced me to the notion that making music for video games could be your job. Since then, I've been on my own Liam Kong quest to become a games composer. You can check that out at theliamgallagher.com if you're interested in my work. I also have a live stream radio station that's linked here. I would say that Donkey Kong Country is the title that solidified Rare as a superstar game developer. Prior to making Donkey Kong Country, they shipped the much-beloved Battletoads, as well as a bunch of ports and shovelware, including about half a dozen adaptations of television game shows, like Wheel of Fortune. That being said, there's nothing to complain about these early works. Every hero does need to pay their dues, after all. Donkey Kong Country, however, will be followed by hit after hit, bringing forward titles like Killer Instinct, GoldenEye 007, Banjo-Kazooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Perfect Dark, and of course the critically acclaimed follow-up to Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest. So if you're excited, you can find a copy of Donkey Kong Country for a bunch of systems. Obviously, there's nothing quite like the original cartridge for the SNES, but if you're not looking to invest in retro hardware, there's many ways you can get a legit digital copy. Owners of the Wii U and the new 3DS can get copies from the eStore. Otherwise, there's always that large flightless bird, the MU, that might know a thing or two about getting this thing running. So tune in this March for episodes on the music of Donkey Kong Country, the ways that level designers make use of psychology to mess with the player, and much, much more. I've been your host, Liam Gallagher. Thanks for joining the 2-Bit Game Club.